I'm David Campbell. I'm Chief Financial Officer of Albatern, and we are a device developer developing smaller scale devices to resolve the challenges of wave energy and of making that a viable commercial segment of a renewable marketplace. What you're seeing in the photograph there is actually our first second generation device that's on test for both buoyancy and deployment on the west coast of Scotland at the moment. And we're taking a model that is actually similar in many respects to the way that the wind energy started in Denmark, with smaller scale devices and then moving into larger. So what are the challenges in that wave sector that we've chosen to journey in? The first section of that is probably it is large. It's large in terms of the devices, because the best energy is available in the large waves, which has meant large one-off devices with high costs to build and high costs to deploy. Our way of approaching this is actually to match the resonance of those large waves with large arrays of smaller modular units. On the right-hand side of the slide, you see our first device lowered into the water by a crane, or in fact 2 cranes. It was the first time they had done a dual lift, they told us, but they did it very well. Those cranes are already on site loading fish feed into barges to go out onto aquaculture sites. In terms of extraction, I'll come on to a slide, the next slide actually, to talk a little bit more about that, but energy yield is a problem for some of the first movers into the sector. Also, where we set our targets. The targets for grid scale power are in the order of 4 to 7 pence a kilowatt hour at the wholesale level. We have done some work with UK government in looking at aquaculture sites where the cost of energy with diesel generation in a remote site are between 55 and 65 pence, so an easier target to hit. A lot of money invested, higher costs and lower yields, that we're seeking to turn that the other way around with reducing costs with multiple elements and improving the yield with the array. And how do we do that? This video shows a little bit about how our device operates. It was shot on a 1/10 scale test that we carried out in France in 2012. Wave energy has a circular particle motion. There's a height difference between the top of the wave and the bottom of the wave. And that means that, and the wave is going somewhere. So it's quite a complicated field with quite a lot of different ways of approaching it. But as you'll see from our video, each part of that structure is following that circular wave particle motion. We're taking the power from the movement at each junction into hydraulics, taking it through a hydraulic motor on the device, generating DC, and taking that to shore for power conditioning. The team that are involved in this are coming from a background in practical project management over many years of working in civil engineering. The renewable sector experience coming from technical input with experience both in tidal and in wave in the past, and resource assessment around the globe. And I come from a background of looking at technology startups, managing the money and managing the risk in those projects. Within the Waters 2 project, which is Scottish Government, Scottish Enterprise, we've been able to bring £600,000 into the company, and that has been used to design and build a 6-unit array that is being deployed this summer in a test centre in Ireland. And we've also, with the Greenius project, we're working with the Cabinet Office programme to look at powering wave powering aquaculture sites, and we're working there with Marine Harvest and Scottish Salmon Company. So the opportunity with Albatern is to be involved in the largest untapped global renewable resource on the planet with high energy density. We look to get into the larger scale once we've proved at a smaller scale. So the market size for larger scale devices is very large. On the smaller scale, we are looking at an aquaculture industry that is spending, excuse me, upwards of $750 million a year on diesel fuel. 2014 is a busy year for us with 3 different deployments that will give us performance data and allow us to raise the money that we're looking for at the end of this year to commercialize the smaller scale devices and move into larger scale devices, where we would also be seeking technical and commercial partners to take those products to market. Thank you.